I don't know if I'm the only one who cares, but have y'all seen what's happening with Duolingo? Okay, in case you're not familiar, Duolingo is an app where you learn other languages, supposedly. It's basically this app where they gamify learning another language through like quizzes and little mini games, little mini quests and stuff. And I'm not gonna say it doesn't work, but everybody I know that uses Duolingo still speaks English to me. Just throwing that out there. And over time it was getting more expensive, and over time there would be mistakes that were in the games and in the programs, which were kind of, I don't know how you would put it, but basically it was kind of forgivable because you felt like you were getting that real-time help through a person, So then a person would see through comments, oh, this is messed up. Oh, let me fix it. It actually should have been like this. And you were really getting like a sort of language learning community going under Duolingo, which is the point, you would think, to learn a new language, to talk to more people. It'd be kind of weird to learn language just to be like, I did it. And no one will ever know. I'm just gonna go to whole countries, know what they saying and not tell anybody. I have the power. I only think like a psychopath would do that. Like I've seen those viral videos of people being like in Japan and no one thinks that this black person in Japan speaks Japanese. So then they like are recording themselves or they're streaming and then someone says something about them and then they're like, boom, I know Japanese. And the person's like, what? No, you don't look like it. That actually would have been a fire ad for Duolingo back in the day. It's just like, have you like eaten at like a fast food spot, everyone around you roasting you, everybody getting one in, like, and the back of his head, look at it, look, I can see right through it. Does he even know he got that bald spot? The bald spot fighting for his life is shiny. It's like a flashlight. And then you bounce back, you're like, I know French. What? I'm so embarrassed. I was being rude in undercover. Duolingo. But no, that's not what happened. People were slowly learning these languages over time. And learning is like it's a hard way to describe it because it's not as if the language was fully being taught. It's not like the same thing as sitting in a class being taught the tenses, being taught the situations to say certain things versus other things. It's more just like, did you spell we right? That's a little French. Have some of that. And so over time, you see Duolingo also get this internet presence that's like, their socials team is very like in vogue. They get in there, they're funny in the comments, spicy comments too. Sometimes they got a quick jab back whenever somebody tries to trash Duolingo. And I don't know how I feel about it. If I'm being honest, it's like through our tax systems and through the economy, we already treat these companies like people. I don't know if I want to pretend that they're also interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like when I see a Twitter handle for a company, I don't want to be like, oh, they're so moody today. I can't believe Microsoft's so angry. Because it's not like it's not an individual, it's a company. And there are individuals making that company feel like your friend, but they're not your friend. They're not your friend at all. And then they do this move, which is wildly unpopular, where they release a statement where they say, we're going to be an AI-first company, which is an interesting title to give yourself. You could have said customer first. You could have said teacher first. And you could have not said anything. Because people were already noticing, they were like, I think there's like less people working there now. I feel like some of my answers don't get answered in the right way. Some of the lessons even feel a bit like Chat GPT-ish, you know? And then they came out and said it. They're like, look, we're gonna use AI and you're gonna learn just the same as you've been learning. And I had friends who were like, I'm not learning anything already. And honestly, what's the fun of using Duolingo if you could just use any sort of like open AI, any sort of AI program to make your own learning course? If it's AI, then what's special about it? And so you see people, big backlash. Every time they even tweet, post anything, people are like, was this written by AI? You know? And it gets to the point where I don't really know if they were hacked or not, or if that's just like part of the marketing scheme, but basically they took down everything. Because they were getting trashed. Because, you know, they want to be expensive. They want to hire less people. They want to essentially disregard, disrespect, or just get rid altogether of their teachers and have you pay, I think, $20 a month to not learn French. And so people were rightfully upset. And so they take everything down and then they post it again, and they post it as the is it a frog? I mean, I think it's a bird. It's an owl? So they posted with a guy in a owl costume. And that guy was using like the deep, distorted voice, talking about how the elites ruin Duolingo. And I was like, yeah, but aren't you... What's happening? And then I think it was the CEO that even came out, and instead of giving some sort of statement that basically says, hey, look, yes, we're going to be using AI, but we're still going to have our teachers, and our teachers are going to just use AI for some of the menial tasks, but you'll still be talking to a teacher. Instead of reassuring the customers at all, he kind of just doubled down and was like, look, the AI going to be better than teachers anyway. That people got really mad. And I think what's happening here is what's happening all the time. Teaching is hard. Teaching is very difficult. And if you love something and you love it enough to teach it, that to me is amazing. I don't know if I know anything well enough to teach it. And I don't know if I have the patience to convey those ideas in an efficient enough way that you know what I know when I'm done talking. That's scary. I would never try to teach. I don't know, even things that I'll admit right now, even things that I'm pretty sure about, I don't know enough about to teach. I believe in climate change, but if you asked me about climate change when I got done talking about climate change, you wouldn't believe in climate change. When I got done talking, you'd be like, everything he said sound made up. Because teaching is very, very difficult, and we forget from every perspective teaching is difficult. It's difficult in and of itself alone to be in your head, have the idea, convey the idea in a way that gets through someone else's head. You gotta get past all the video games and all the crushes and just to be like, math! That's already hard enough. Never mind the fact that like kids are difficult. I'm not just talking about like junior high or all of them. I remember being difficult as a kid. I wasn't trying to be difficult. I wanted to learn the thing. It was not getting in. I was fighting it. I didn't even know it. Sometimes I'd even be a little pompous, you know? Like I'll admit it, as a little kid, give me some grace. As a child, I was a flat earther. When I was little, I was a flat earther because, my teacher tried to teach me about the globe and all the countries around the globe and stuff like that and how the earth was round. And I was like, Just gonna throw this out there for you. feels pretty flat to me. I know I haven't been all over the world, but never been, sideways. So I think it's pretty flat. Sorry to embarrass you while you're talking to the whole class, but... And then my teacher very graciously was like, oh, yeah, this is sadly a common misconception. It's not actually flat. The earth is round. I'm like, oh, huh. Not to contradict you, ma'am, but if the earth is round, why are all the maps flat? Truly, as an 8-year-old, I thought I had a mic drop moment. I was like, I rest my case. That's up there with you. You the one projected that thing. So, maybe I should have the chalk. I'm just saying. And then my teacher pulled out a globe. Because it's difficult. And look, I'm not a parent. And I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent the same way I can't imagine what it's like to be a teacher. But I see some of the friction that parents have with teachers sometimes, whether they think that they could do it better or that they think it must not be their kid, it must be the teacher. And I thought that all would have been settled through COVID. You remember that time where everybody was alone with their kids? To see how well they sort of grasped everything? Oh, I don't think enough teachers got an apology. I feel like 2021, you should show up to your kid's school and be like, I didn't know he just wouldn't take the words in. Like, I really thought it was you this entire time, but nah, he hates science. That's his kryptonite. No. It's also hard because I think the way that we look at teaching is as the obstacle as opposed to as the help, right? Like even now, if someone tries to teach you something, there's some reluctance there sometimes. What it used to be, you're a kid and these adults, they don't know what they're talking about and try to teach me something. And then you become an adult and you're like, why do you think you can teach me something? We're the same age. And then you get older, and then someone younger than you has something to say, and you're like, why do you think you can teach me something? You don't even know about the world, right? So I think that a lot of people, myself included, sometimes have a reluctance to learning in general, especially because there's a sort of like hubris around getting an idea. When you get an idea, you feel like you got it. I snatch that, you know? It's like when people say that they're self-taught, but then they tell you how they taught themselves. No, I went to my friend's house. He built a whole deck. And I was like, that's incredible. I didn't know you did construction. He's like, I don't. I was like, how'd you build a deck? He's like, oh, self-taught. And I was like, how did you teach yourself to build a deck? And he's like, oh, I just watched this guy on YouTube for like 75 hours or whatever. I had to watch some of the videos over and over again because I was scared I was going to mess up my cuts and everything. But then I got it. Yeah. Then he taught you. That's not self-taught at all. 75 hours of listening to some other dude talk, he might as well have been here. No, because there's a deep respect that I have for teachers because they cared about something so much that they were willing to learn more about it than they ever probably had to, just to teach it to someone else, to share the thing that they love. My math teacher loved math so much that she went to more school for math, and then she came back, got a teaching degree, and then came back and taught a lower math than she understands. She has to dumb down math every day just to bring it to me, and just to try to give me some math. She went through all that, and I don't know how we did it. It's kind of incredible that all over the world, we somehow managed to not pay teachers enough and not give them enough, like in every country, no matter where you go. And so I bring it up because I think that I'm not a teacher, but I think the thing that teachers fall in love with is like that light bulb. Watching someone get something that you understand, that you're giving to them, and then it clicks. And they're like, oh, whether they're a little kid, little bitty kid. I remember a teacher at school is who really taught me how to tie my shoes. Like really put it together for me in my head. Obviously, my grandma tied my shoes and would show me how to do it while she was doing it. My mom would tie my shoes. My dad would tie my shoes. But she was the one that was like, no, we're going to practice. I'm just going to tie it. We're going to practice. And so then she tied it because I ran up to her after recess. I had been falling, right? I've been tripping hard. I was doing that, you know, that Looney Tunes drag where your legs go up? Because I was getting a good start and then I'd step on a lace and I'd go, whoa! And so ran up to her. I was like, hey, can you help me tie my shoes? Just both laces couldn't be further from my feet. Just, can you help me tie my shoes? And she was like, sure. And then she tied both my shoes for me. And then just like that, she pulled the string and untied them both. And I was like, oh. I'd never been betrayed before. It's like, oh, why would you, what's wrong with you? And she was like, no, I've tied your shoes a couple days in a row. I'm not gonna tie them anymore. We're gonna tie them together. And so for the rest of recess, sat down, tied my shoes over and over again until the last time I tied them and I didn't even notice it. And then for the rest of the time I was in elementary school, every time she saw me, shoes tied, she saw that light bulb go off. Oh. And no matter how reluctant someone is to be taught, it's a beautiful thing when that happens. When the idea gets through and you can see it. You see the light bulb go off. Oh, it's round. Who would have thought? No? And so, I don't know what it's like. I see this move in Duolingo towards AI, and that move towards AI is not to give you, the consumer, a better product. It's not to help the actual teachers who are passionate about people learning other languages so they can make new friends or have new experiences or just open their minds up to how big the world really is. When you understand language and you understand how many different ways there are to say something specifically and how few ways there are to say something very unique, you have an appreciation for communication, right? And that's not what Duolingo is looking to do. They would like to make more money. And it's a business, so to be fair, more money would be nice. That's what you're supposed to do at business. No one shows up to business like, did you make any friends? But that is why they're making that move towards AI. And I see that thing happening in places that do make me worry. Like, I don't know much about the UK school system or anything. I don't know if it's good or bad or how y'all feel about it. I just know the stories that I've been seeing where there are some schools that are looking to introduce and implement AI teachers, like AI taking over the classroom. And I don't know, that really worries me because I think that you need a teacher, you need a person to watch you get it. That's part of the human experience. To watch you get it is great. Being in a classroom that's led by AI has to be like being in a driverless car. And you get in, and they tell you it's safe. They tell you it'll get you where you're going, but you get in, and, you know, maybe they programmed it to make sure it makes the light, but not to speed, you know. But you're in the back seat for some reason. I mean, I guess there's no wheel, so might as well. And you're just looking out the windshield the whole time like, okay, they say this is how you get there, but I've never gone this way before. And now you're just sitting there like, oh, I think you missed the left. Oh. Really nobody to talk to in here, so sort of talking to myself. Oh, that's a bus, that's a bus, that's a bus, that's a bus, that's a bus. Because one thing about being here that that I cannot stress enough, the way y'all's buses move is is wildly different than what I'm used to. If I'm being honest, I don't know how you train your bus drivers. Or what happens when a bus driver hits a person, but it looks like they're trying to find out every turn. I was crossing the street to come here, and the bus driver cut the wheel so hard in front of me and looked at me the entire time. But you're in this driverless car, and it says it's going to get you where you're going. And so maybe you should trust it. Who knows? But sometimes I prefer a person, you know? I know that we don't necessarily treat everything this way. Like, the best example I can give is when it comes to school and how kids are using ChatGPT and other AI to do their homework for them or do the lesson for them and turn it in. The big fear there is that they will not know how to think to a conclusion, right? Like if we're being honest, and this isn't to disparage what anyone teaches or how they teach it, but a lot of the actual lessons you learn in school don't matter as much as you taking the steps to get to the end product, right? Like it isn't imperative that you read Mark Twain, but it is good that you read something that is not how the people that you know talk, and it's not from a time that you live in, and it opens up your mind to that the world might be different, you know? And the fear is that if kids use this thing too much, if it's completely abused, that you'll essentially graduate someone who is illiterate and not able to think critically about anything. And they'll be a doctor. And I get that. I get that fear. But you also have to look at it from the perspective of those kids, because they're essentially being told that, look, we try to teach you well so that you can go out into the world and be productive and maybe get a good job. But as far as good jobs, we're like done with those. So you're not going to get one that's going to go to AI. But don't use the AI to cheat. You got to read the whole book slow so we can be impressed by how the AI reads it fast. And so I understand how a lot of kids feel like they don't have stake in the type of future that the work that they're expected to do would link them up with, you know? Like there's this idea that if you do everything right, you'll reap the rewards, but we're already telling you the rewards won't be there by the time you get done. And so I see things like them bringing AI into these UK schools and paying for these programs. You have to ask yourself, is this really coming out of the kindness of someone's heart? Or is this to make money? Is there a company that will make money? And surely there is. Because the programs range in prices. There's one program, though, that is being implemented in school. I think I could be wrong about the exact number, but I'm pretty sure that the amount that the program is going to cost the school is like £27,000, which I'm not saying is the best salary in the world, but you could pay that to a person, you know? And it just freaks me out because I only know what it's like in the American school system, which is scary enough. And not just because of the shootings. It's also... It's not because I'm saying the American school system is already difficult enough because you have underpaid and overworked teachers that have to take extra jobs and just fight for their lives and then still spend their own money to get supplies for kids to do the work that they're expected to do, all right? Just to like stay even slightly above water. So how can you not expect this kid who's already been given less resources than kids in other districts and kids who, you know, by some accident happen to go to a great school or happen to be in a place with money, how can you not expect them to use ChatGPT to get them to close the gap? And how can you not expect these teachers to be like, I already drive Uber, deliver pizza, and teach geography. I don't know if I can try to find the AI. No? Because you can get really far without knowing. Actually, that's one thing I think about all the time. I don't know if your schools are good or not, but I also don't know if it matters, at least to Americans, because if you come over to the US with your accent, we'll believe you. Like, people in the US fall for the British accent so hard, it's kind of unfair that we were ever number one. Like even a lot of the conspiracy theories that we believe in the US did kind of come from a British guy who just talks smooth. You know, like he comes over after y'all kicked him out for being too wild, and then he's like, there's lizards in all the people. And we're like, when he says it, it makes sense. Y'all have some phenomenal exports. But you do have some rough ones. Like, why'd y'all do like that? Sending Piers Morgan to us. It almost constitutes an act of war. I don't know who else you could have sent that Boris Johnson wouldn't have been as destructive as Piers Morgan on our TV all the time. What did we ever do to you? I'd like to think that the UK holds like centuries-long grudges. And I'm like, okay, all right, y'all think you cute. You think you cute, you gonna leave me. Just wait. Wait like 200 years. I'm gonna send the most annoying man that's ever lived to be on 3 of your news stations every day. Oh. Because it's difficult. I mean, you can get really far without knowing much. That's scary. And that's even before AI. Ask Piers Morgan. You can get so far without knowing anything. In fact, there was a teacher in the US. This blew my mind. This teacher, and look, I'd have to look it up again, but I was throwing it out there. British man. It just sort of backs up my point. This dude taught in the US for 8 years and he couldn't read. he couldn't read. Imagine somebody failing you who can't read. Imagine. You turn in your paper and they're like, I don't even know what this says, but it looked wrong. This look like garbage, man. Nah, this dude really figured it out. This is one of those stories that kind of went semi-viral before virality was like well established. So before YouTube and like things could pop off on Twitter, Facebook, or anything, this dude got his maybe his master's or something, and started teaching. And I think he was teaching like middle school, and taught middle school for like 8 years. Could never read, but what he would do was he was very good at picking out personalities. This was his talent. This was his thing that he had used his entire life. He could read people. He couldn't read words, but he knew. He knew people so perfectly, he could laser into them, and he knew so much about you just by looking at you. And one of the things he would do every year, every semester, he would lock in on like 2 or 3 of the smartest kids in class. Just naturally smart, just genuinely gifted. And he would have them, read a paragraph or 2 to the class starting the lesson. And then he would basically, watching over them, kind of get the smart kids to teach all the other kids. And it was astounding. That's wild. I'm sure that's what they think the AI will do. I'm sure that's what this dude would lock in, and he'd just see, okay. He'd be like, today, can you read page 11? Can you read page 12? Can you read page 13? And we'll all just take notes in our books as we go. right? As the kids would be taking notes, as the other kids were reading and everything. And one of the things that he said in his defense, he's like, show me where the kids that I taught aren't proficient in what I was teaching. You know, my methods work. And it's fitting that he was teaching middle school too, because middle schoolers are some bullies. A middle schooler is the only one with the real audacity to be like, I don't think he can read. That would never happen in higher education. Like, if you're getting your master's and your professor can't read, you would second guess yourself. You'd be like, no, I must be missing something. He must just be like so locked in that he never looks at the book. No, only a middle schooler would be like, I bet you he can't read, dog. Because a middle schooler will blackmail you too. A middle schooler would be like, hey, look, it's A's for me and my boys the rest of the year. Or we telling everybody you can't read. That's A, as in the first letter. That's A as in the first letter that you can't read, because you can't read, okay? If I even see a closed A that look like a B, I'm telling everybody. Imagine that. Imagine getting caught. Imagine principal, vice principal got to pull you into the office. You sitting down, you know, because the kids loved him. He never gave homework. You sitting down, what's going on, y'all? How's everything going? We need to talk to you about something that's a bit troubling. We are hearing, it's honestly hard to even say this out loud. I feel so embarrassed even bringing it up, but there have been some accusations by some students and maybe a few parents as well that you ooh. Because you gotta think about it. If you're wrong, you look so crazy as the principal. If you're wrong, you look like you believe everything you've ever been told in your life. If you're a principal that drags a teacher into a room to be like, can you read? Like, you hired me. Like, can I read? Principal sitting them down. Okay, look, so there have been some concerns and some accusations by some students and some parents that your literacy is not in the room with us. You know, and I don't know if they would have the teacher in there by himself or they'd have the kid that accused him of not being able to read because he didn't get the A he wanted. Maybe he's sitting there. Teacher, this is preposterous. You know, words you say when you don't know how to spell it. This is preposterous. Me not be able to read. What how dare you? How absolutely dare you? Kid sitting there. Make him read something. Make him read something. He gonna do it anyway if he can do it. They try to get him to sign his resignation letters. They're like, can you read it? I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. Kid sitting there, that means no. No? And that's my fear. That's my big fear is that you let the system start, it only benefits companies, and before you know it, it's an entire generation, an entire country of people who aren't proficient in thinking skills. They can't think critically. They're not truly literate. And never mind not just reading for fun. They do not really grasp how important reading is, because you can either cheat the AI or the AI has the best interest of the company in mind. Because that's another thing that was happening with Duolingo. It's just all these ads started popping up, ads for companies, because they're a company that's trying to make money, you know? And so what if that happens? What if you implement so much AI into all of these schools and it goes left? How fast can you train an entire generation of teachers that were burned out and underpaid and overwhelmed to begin with? You know? That means that you could have an entire generation of UK teachers coming to the US not knowing how to read and teaching our kids not to read. Could be a disaster. Never underestimate the power and the impact that a teacher can have on your life. I remember a teacher sat me down and told me something I didn't even know about myself. This teacher sat me down and told me, you got a lot of nervous energy. Like and I was like in middle school where you can't even be polite. You just got to get right to the point. Like they just sat me down. You got a lot of nervous energy. All right. You ever thought of drawing? Just channel it somehow. Right. I was like, oh no, I never thought to draw. I love anime. Yeah, maybe I'll draw. And I drew something and my teacher was like, draw something, bring it to me. I'd like to see what you draw. And so I did. And when I showed my teacher my drawing, they were like, we're going to find something else. For you to do with your energy. All right. Hey friends, I have some great news for you. So this week, I'm going to be hosting The Daily Show for the very first time. I'm hosting tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. And this show has meant a lot to me for a long time. I started there as a writer in 2017, and I've loved it ever since. I've loved the people, I've loved the process, and for the first time, I get to sit behind the desk. And if you've ever wondered what the show would look like through my lens, well, this is your chance to watch it. And I just want to say thank you, because this is in no small part because of you, because of this community, because of everything that we're doing on this channel is a lot of what led to this opportunity. And so I appreciate you very, very much. And if you are inclined, if you're in the area, go ahead and watch Comedy Central live or on the Paramount Plus app. There will also be YouTube videos of clips of it dropping as well. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoy seeing me host. I have some amazing guests, and I'm excited to bring the show to you in the best way that I can. And I hope you enjoy the video this week. Bye.
Please make it loud for John Johnson!
Okay. All right. Look. Okay. So we are in week 2 of they're like kind of being files, but no files. But like there's kind of like we don't know, but he doesn't know, but he knows, but he doesn't remember, but he wasn't there. But even if he was there, it's not what you think. But like it's a lot going on, right? And so with everything that fell out with Trump last week, now you have people being like, release the Epstein files, release the Epstein files, release the Epstein files, right? And in prison is Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, in case you're not familiar, Ghislaine Maxwell, like one of the central people to this case, she trafficked for Jeffrey Epstein, right? And she is still alive somehow, and in prison, okay? Yeah, so she's still alive in prison, right? And she actually got 20 years for her part in this trafficking. And so now with Trump calling Epstein a hoax, there's been a lot of, how do I put this? There's been a lot of unintelligible takes on if he's saying the entire thing is a hoax or just his involvement is a hoax, or no one can really tell. There's not a lot of like centered messaging on what is supposed to be the narrative here. And because of that, now you got Ghislaine and her lawyers from prison being like, oh, well, if it's a hoax. No, I'm just saying if like nobody got trafficked to anybody, then I'd like to appeal, right? And then there's people that are like, the client list. We need the client list. We need the little black book. We need the client list. Why won't they release things? And then you even had Democrats saying in the House, like, we want to release the files, and they put it to a vote. And Republicans voted to block that release. And they voted to block that release, they said, because, it was part of another bill and it would have passed a bunch of stuff we don't want to pass. So then a bipartisan group went out and they were like, now we should vote on this, and it's Epstein stuff only, right? So everyone's like, release the files, right? And then Ghislaine is like, I got the files. I got them in my head. Like, I'll tell you right now, which is such a crazy thing to me to watch. If you've been watching this whole thing take place, Ghislaine got arrested in like 2020. I think she got sentenced in like 2022, and she's been in jail this whole time. Why is she just now saying, I got the list? It feels like when your boy who like really thought he was gangster finally goes to jail and gets like the first roach in his sandwich, and he's like, I'll tell anything you need me to know, like anybody. If you have any questions, I will answer follow-up questions. Just please get me out of here. I think there's rats in the cheese, please. And so you had Trump really stressing this week, stressing hard, going back and forth with people. This man's getting more comfortable cursing out loud and on text. Like, this is crazy. Just like decorum's fully out the window. Like, there wasn't much of it to begin with, but now he's just like, ah! And this is the other thing that trips me up, is that they're throwing everything they can in front of this like Epstein monster, like Pac-Man, right? Let's just throw this while we run away. And they never admit that Trump isn't doing well in any way, ever. And then they came out saying he had chronic venous, I don't really know what that third word is, I'm not gonna lie to you. But basically he got chronic veins or something. I don't know if that means he got extra, or I don't know what it is, but it's affecting, his health a little bit, and his hand looks horrible. His hand looks like he got an ace bandage on it, but like that's his skin, right? And so I saw that and I was like, wow, they must really want this thing to go. Talk about anything else, please. And then just today, Tulsi Gabbard released these Obama-Russia files. You know, the files everybody's talking about. You know, the files that just last week were like, when they gonna release those Obama-Russia files? Why can't they get the what is Obama hiding, all right? We want his Russia files. You know, we've been hungry, thirsty for some Obama-Russian files. Ooh, I can't wait to it. I can taste them. Let me get those Obama-Russia files. That's so bad. That's so bad. It means you have nothing. You truly have nothing to throw in the way of this thing, because Obama-Russia file, you won. You won in 2016, you won in 2024. I haven't read the Obama-Russia files, admittedly. I haven't read them yet. But I have a spoiler alert for you. Trump came out on top. And he over here stressing when he could have just done nothing. Eventually, he's in the White House, he's asked about it, and he's like, look, if Pam Bondi finds anything credible, she can release it. That's all he had to say the whole time. He could have avoided this entire thing if he had just said that, look, if the AG finds something credible, she can release it. And then people really don't have much to say because it's like, that's what they want. He says you're going to get it. I don't know if that's true, but like, that's all you have to do. Keep your calm, play it cool. Instead, he was like, why would you, And it's because he felt caught. And the only people who within this week have been as caught as Trump and reacted as badly was that couple at the Coldplay concert. I thought I was shocked when I saw like Trump's Epstein files tweets, right? This thing, the clip is about 14 seconds. I've been watching it for 20 hours. Okay, all right. In case you haven't seen this, it's a Coldplay concert, right? Coldplaying. Coldplay doing their thing, all right? Being Coles. Cold playing particularly hard that night. And they did this thing that's becoming more popular at big concerts because Coldplay doing like a stadium. And there's a thing that you can do at a public event, like an entertainment event, whether it's sports, whether it's music, whatever, where you can put out a cam into the audience. And I don't know how to describe it, but when you do that, it does make the entire thing, as big as it is, feel more intimate. Because now you're over here enjoying Coldplay and you see the other people there enjoying Coldplay and they're just like you. And they're just as excited to be on the screen as you would be to be on the screen. And they're having such a good time, you know? And so you're like, this is amazing. We're all here together enjoying this thing. I genuinely like those cams because it reminds us that we're all doing the same thing, having a good time, you know? And if we're all doing the same thing, having a good time, maybe we're more alike than we think. If we're more alike than we think, then maybe when we leave the basketball game, when we leave the show, whatever, we have less reason to argue. We have less reason to look at each other as like just completely different entities. It's like, you're just like me. You like Coldplay. You know? And I'm not, you know, a big enough act to do like a stadium or anything like that. I don't really have screens at my shows and stuff, but I heard that the CEO of the largest tech firm in Louisville was here tonight, and so I brought a cam out tonight if you want to. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I can't afford that at all. No, but if you didn't see the clip, is basically Coldplay throwing people up on the cam and having little interactions, or like playing a little something just for them, or just commenting on how sweet people look. And they're going, people, people, people. And then they go to this couple. It's not just any couple. They go to a couple holding each other Titanic style. And to be fair to her, she didn't have the arms out like Rose. She was holding his arms. And then Chris Martin is like, look at this couple. And I don't know, okay. This is where I wish I knew more about like technology and the brain and stuff like that, because the same way that there is latency on the internet and there's a delay on a call where sometimes you can hear yourself in someone else's side of the phone call and you can hear how you spoke, but there's a delay. It's like a second later you hear your own voice, what you just said as you're speaking. So it takes a second. And I don't know, because I've never been in a situation where I've been on a big camera like that, the amount of time it takes your brain to register that that's you that you looking at. Because they're over here, Titanic style. If you've ever seen the film Titanic, and if you're a 90s baby, you know that when Titanic came out initially, home release, it was on VHS. And it's such a long movie, it's such an epic, that there were 2 VHS tapes. If you're young and you don't know what a VHS is, don't tell anybody that. Keep that to yourself and Google it, all right? It makes people feel bad when we have to explain that we used to have to basically bring a projector home inside a hard casing and then put it in a VCR. If you don't know what a VCR is, that's some other letters you don't need to worry about, okay? You're never gonna come in contact with them in your life, but you would put the VHS into the VCR, you would hit play. You understand play, right? You're not too young for play. You would hit play and it would play the thing like it does on demand, but we didn't have on demand yet. Netflix wasn't born yet. We didn't know what streaming was. And Titanic came out and it was such a long movie. I hadn't seen this 2 VHSs. I hadn't seen that since Charlton Heston's 10 Commandments. If you're too young to know what Charlton Heston's 10 Commandments are, it is also a film, but that film is almost as old as the people the film is about, all right? That movie is about Moses, who probably had a VCR, really. Like when you think about how long ago Moses was and when we used VCRs. But Titanic came home with you, it had 2 VHS tapes. And you watch the first VHS tape of Titanic and it plays till about half the movie. And then it tells you to enter tape 2. Tape 2, which will be far more depressing. If you were like me and you shopped at a lot of like thrift stores sometimes when you go to a thrift store, you don't get to get the thing the way it was intended when it was sold. You might go to a thrift store and buy Titanic and think you got all the Titanic in one VHS tape. And then bring Titanic home and watch Titanic, but you only watch tape 1. And so you don't even know that there's a tape 2 until the end of the VHS where it says insert tape 2, and you don't have it. So you're like, all right, I'm just gonna have to settle with what I got, which was a very sweet story about 2 people who met on an epic adventure. I think I'm willing to leave it there. And it's not until years later you find out the horror that is Titanic Part 2. Part 2 where everything going awry. And all I can say is the first 2 seconds that this couple was on the kiss cam looked a lot like Titanic VHS tape 1. And then when they realize that they are the camera, it looks a whole like Titanic VHS tape 2. Honestly, they look like they on the Titanic. When about tape 2 takes place. And so you see them. And this is where things went wrong. Because rather than just playing it cool, than just, chilling, the woman immediately covers her face and whips around. Okay. All right. Look. Look. Don't judge, okay? When I was a kid, there were kids in my neighborhood who went a totally different direction than I did, right? And sometimes I'd hear about them, and you especially hear about them if you stop seeing them around. And I quickly got used to the idea that if I hadn't seen somebody a long time, they probably didn't just move away. They may have been locked up. Something may have happened to them, right? And there was a kid who was nice enough a few blocks down. Sometimes I would walk to work in the morning, and it was a long walk. And I would pass his house, and sometimes he'd be out front of his house with people. I'd say hi, they'd say hi. We weren't like close or anything. And one day when I was back home from college, I went to this hookah lounge with my friends. And at the hookah lounge were the guys who I used to pass by when I was in high school, working that job, running every day to work. And I asked them where, the fourth was, the dude that was usually with them. And they were like, oh, yeah, no, he doing a little time. I was like, what happened? And they were like, well, he ran up in this store to rob it. And, he had he was pretending to have a gun and everything. And not only did he not have a gun, the store clerk wasn't scared of him. And so he's over here doing one of these. Let's talk about this real quick. Because I've known people who have had people run up on them And they didn't see the gun, but they were sure they had a gun because of the way they moved with it, right? A little bit of weight to it. Maybe it was tucked. Maybe it was in the pocket. But there was just a slight motion that they had. There's just a way that they were behaving where if they didn't have a gun, this is some great acting. But this man, he ran up into the store. Give me everything. Do it now. I'm not messing around. I would hate for this to go off. And so store clerk kept his cool and he was like, no. He's like, what do you mean? I am armed, ready to kill. Oh, you don't think I'll do it? I'm crazy. And a store clerk, apparently, according to their story, told me, I don't think you'll do anything because... And he points up, and he looked up at the corner, and he was on camera without a mask. And so apparently he went, and walked out the store. I understand the immediate reaction to want to cover your face when you realize you're on camera. But don't do it with your fake gun hand. But he got arrested from rolling up in there and even the attempt and everything. And so he did a little time in jail. And I'm just saying, you're on the kiss cam and immediately something seems awry when you go, oh! And that by itself wouldn't have actually been that bad. No, I'll tell you right now, this is what I firmly believe. I truly believe this from the bottom of my heart. I think that obviously, there's something up when you see yourself on the cam and go, oh, and then you turn around. But like Chris Martin said, later in the video, maybe shy. Maybe you're shy. And if only one of them had reacted badly, if only one of them had reacted badly, they might not be in this situation. But she went, oh! And then the man just starts to sink. Where did he go? No, for real, where did this dude go? This man didn't just duck under what he thought the camera could cover. This man got caught. She turned around and he went, ooh, But like, where did he go? Like, truly, where was he? He never comes back. Did he open a portal? He might have been in an abyss. This was one of the crazy, because then he's gone and then she's just standing there. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know where their seats are, but it seems like he jumped. I was crying. This man went under everyone, I suppose. Fully disappeared. And Chris Martin went, either that couple is really shy or they're having an affair. And the internet said, or? No, that's an affair, dog. Tried to be gracious just in case, but no. That was wild. And then we didn't know it yet. But there was another woman off to the side that presumably knows everything that's happening with them. And wow, people find out quick. The internet works quick. Internet was like, I got all night. I'm not at the Coldplay concert. And within hours, people found this dude's name, where he worked. They found her. They found out that they weren't married to each other. This man married, and then, the internet did a thing where, look. I do think it's important that people know the truth about what's happening in their lives. And I can only hope, genuinely hope, that the people that reached out to that dude's wife did it with at least some tact. But a lot of people reached out to her, commented, this is where your husband's at. He's at the Coldplay concert. The Coldplay concert, from my research, isn't even that far from where you live because I already went ahead and doxed him. I just want you to know. And so then people looked him up, and then they looked her up, and early into people looking her up, she had changed her last name on social, apparently. Changed it, knocked his name off. And then it looks like she deleted or made private her socials altogether, which I completely understand. And then people started looking into him. And this is the thing about treating people badly. As soon as something blows up like this, anything you ever did comes out. This dude cheating on his wife, and then other people were giving their little testimonies. Oh, I worked with him. He's actually terrible. He makes toxic work environments. He's incredibly abusive to his employees, saying all this stuff, right? And I don't know if these people actually work with him or not. It's so hard to tell what about this is real versus people just trying to get in versus people trying to be part of it and stuff. And then I had a moment, genuinely, I had a moment where I was like, what if? Let's entertain for a second. What if this isn't real? I genuinely thought, because some of the kiss cam stunts, some of the things they do at sports games are completely fake. They'll be a fake proposal just to make everybody laugh and maybe go viral, and maybe they'll sell some more Bruins tickets. And then I even thought to myself, okay, you don't really see this happen in music. So maybe, what if this was Coldplay? What if Coldplay was look, this is what we gonna do, all right? We're gonna get the cam up, we're gonna show a bunch of people, we're gonna get it on one couple. They're gonna freak out, Jerry Springer style, all right? One of them gonna duck, he's never gonna come back. He disappears for life. She stands there. The lady next to her, who is supposedly her friend, laughs at their lives crumbling in front of her. It'll go viral. Everybody will be talking about the Coldplay concert. Everybody will be talking about what song we played right before it happened. Genuinely, you have to entertain a lot of things when you're trying to sift through if something's real or not. You have to be skeptical of everything. And I thought about it, and then I saw how Chris Martin moved on after that. And then I saw a wide shot, and I saw that the stadium looked sold out. So I was like, actually, it looks like Coldplay is doing fine. That theory is in the dirt. This looks very real. And then I thought about the company, Andy, his name is Andy. Andy works at a company called Astronomer. I had never heard of Astronomer. I don't think anybody was talking about Astronomer 2 days ago. So then for a second I was like, what if? Astronomer, a tech company, hire Coldplay to do a stadium show. Coldplay does the stadium show. They have all their fans there. The fans don't know that Coldplay's getting a little bit of money on the side for what's about to happen. And then they throw the camera on the CEO. They throw the camera on the CEO and another employee. And then they create this whole scandal. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about Astronomer. What is Astronomer? Oh, it's an AI company. What do? Oh, they help manage workflow. These are conversations nobody was having 2 days ago. The assumption when you're in the news, when there's a scandal with your CEO, is that your stock price could drop. I don't know if it's a public company, but if the stock price is dropping, seems like a good time to buy. Maybe that's when they buy back their own stock. And then as soon as I was sitting in my room thinking all this, I was like, I think I've been too deep in this Epstein thing. Like, I think that maybe I have a problem. And I just it's really changing how my brain works. And then there's the fallout of this dude, not only is he caught cheating in front of thousands of people, in front of the internet, but also we find out he's a CEO. We're not gonna find much grace there. People aren't really fans of CEOs right now. And then on top of being a CEO, he's a billionaire. You basically made a Venn diagram of the three people that people hate the most. And it's a circle with your name in it. Because it is a terrible thing. A terrible thing that happened. And I just think about how that's something that happens now. Our grandparents, our great-great-parents would have never got caught. No, people's grandparents had whole extra families. And as long as you were willing to be a gentleman about it and really take care of both families, they never met. You went on your family vacation with one family beginning of the summer, family vacation with the second family at the end of the summer, because there used to just be more affordability in the US. A lot of people talk about how back in my day, I could buy a house right out of college. And it's yes, and afford an extra family. Don't forget that. I've talked about this before. I've known people growing up who had that thing happen, where the granddad, they have cousins and half brothers and sisters because of what the granddad did back in the day. And he was doing that on a job that doesn't even exist anymore. That's how much things have changed. This man had 2 whole families as a traveling fork salesman. This man would just go up to people's doors and be like, look, eventually in your life, you will come across some spaghetti. And when that happens, you'll want to be, he sounded like life insurance, you're going to want to be ready when that spaghetti is in front of you, all right? You don't want to be sitting here like a fool with a knife and a spoon. You want to be ready with that spaghetti, all right? And how you get ready? My forks. I got the best forks. My forks can do anything. I got fine dining forks. I got regular forks. I got the nickel forks. You know those forks made of nickel they'll never rust because they're always kind of rusty. If you need forks, I can get it right, all right? Got all types of forks. I got the 4-prong, I got the 3-prong, I got the, he bad at counting. And then people let him in. He's like, looking at this, was it two bedroom? Two-bedroom house? How many kids you got? Oh, you got 3 kids in a 2-bedroom house? You're gonna need at least 16 forks. Made his living selling forks. One day, somebody opened the door for this man and he's immediately smitten. Oh, hello. She's like, yes, how can I help you? He's like, oh, I was trying to, I had this briefcase where I was trying to like fork you, like I just want to, no, I'm trying to give you fork. I mean, I'm trying to sell you forks. I sell forks. My name is John. And then she lets him in. And they get to talking about forks. And then about other things. And he doesn't tell her he's got a wife at home. And they start an affair. An affair where maybe she knows about the wife, maybe she doesn't. But then things grow. They feel like they're in love. They're like, let's get married. He marries her. Now he's got 2 fork families to support. Now he's got to sell forks harder than ever. He's got to go to as many doors as possible because the kids need braces, all of them. No, just he sells as many forks as he can, and then one day, one fateful day, sadly, a Sears opens. He's out of business immediately. If you're young and you don't know what Sears is, it was like a department/everything store where basically it was like Amazon, but you had to go. There was no click. You had to leave the house to go to Amazon, and then you had to go put everything in your cart yourself, and then you had to buy it yourself. It was like working at the factory at Amazon, except you just grabbed what you needed and you left. But then one day Sears opens, he realizes he's ruined. What else is he gonna do? He's only good at selling forks. And so he has to sit his family down. Be like, look, I'll be right back. I'm going to get cigarettes. And then he goes to his other home, his other family, and he's like, sit down, y'all. I have something to tell you. It's important. I have to go get cigarettes. And then he would go off and he'd have his own life, and he would die with a lot of life insurance, and then the 2 families wouldn't meet each other until it was time to collect. And that was the gentlemanly way to cheat in the 30s. All right? Because a CEO of a company dating, openly cheating with, I didn't know this was a real title, with the CPO, which CPO, I found out today, stands for Chief People Officer, which sounds like the most made up job I've ever heard in my entire life. That job sounds very fake. Chief People Officer sounds like what you say at Thanksgiving when you go home unemployed, knowing that your brother is a doctor and your sister's a lawyer. I'm the Chief People Officer. Oh, and I'm Master of Business. That is crazy. I know it's a real job, I know it's a real title and everything, but just, you could have named it something else. To say that you're in the C-suite, just Chief People Officer, really sounds like it was not on anyone's mind before the name came out of their mouth. It's like, we have to give her a title. What's the title? She's head of HR. No, she was already head of HR. She got promoted. What is she over again? HR and personnel and hiring. It's like, okay, Chief People Officer? I don't know. No, it was crazy. Crazy. And now it just recolors everything with that company. Now they're probably having an investigation right now. You know? Makes you take a second look at everything that happened between them, like performance reviews. Apparently, in one of the performance reviews, the CEO said that the CPO, this is what I read, this might not be right, because everybody talking. But apparently the CEO said the CPO had deeply extensive and impressive knowledge. And that's nasty. That's, I know what he's trying to say. That's, no. That is inappropriate, if anything. I hope they take you down just for that. That's unacceptable. You know? You shouldn't do things that you know are wrong. And I think when you get caught, it's also important to know you're caught and to handle it as best as possible. And I think that as far as that kiss cam couple goes, the only way they could have handled that thing worse was if they had held up signs that said there are no Epstein files. Like, I've fallen down a very specific rabbit hole where basically I have been reading reviews like it's an addiction. I've been reading reviews from people from other countries, okay? So they don't live in the US, but they come here from all over the world. And I have been reading their reviews of having Doritos for the first time. And y'all, I think we did crack again because when they come over here, it's people from France being like, I had one, my friend offered me one, and then when I looked down, I don't know how much time had passed, but there were 6 bags on the ground. And this is my thing, like, maybe what we are doing with Doritos is bad, you know what I mean? Because when you read the back of a bag of Doritos and you look at the ingredients, they all are words longer than what should be in food. If you read the back of a bag of Doritos, it looks like the recipe for meth, right? It's just a lot of propylene glycol sounding stuff and everything. So no wonder they come from around the world. They come from Europe, Asia. They get addicted and everything. It's sad to watch. It really is, because then they're in the review, they're like, I just ate so many and I couldn't stop. And then if you're reading it as an American, you like, yeah, like this isn't exactly news or anything, you know? If anything, that's on you for getting 6 of the little bags. You should have got a family size bag. You know what I mean? If it's just you eating by yourself, you get the family size bag. It is fiscally irresponsible what you're doing right now. Just getting 6 bags of the little ones like you gonna stop or something. You can't control yourself. You're in it now. You know? And sometimes I see him. Sometimes I see him over. I'm like, you know him. You know him when you see him because you can check the fingers, right? You know? Let me see your hands. And you see the hands like addicted. Ugh. What a shame. Because no other country lets their companies do to the people what we let the companies do to us as far as ingredients. Like, we're like, man, it's very good. It's so good. It is good. It's not good for you, and it does have a taste that should not be in a human mouth. And I can tell that because people who have been alive for a long time are like, I've been eating forever, and I've never eaten anything like this before. It's taken me to a place I don't know if I want to go to. And you're reading them and you're like, how is it this serious? But then you actually travel, because like I've traveled around the world and stuff, and I've been to some of these countries that talk about the Doritos, and I can tell they're going to get addicted, because when I go there and I eat their food, I'm like, yeah, y'all missing quite a few flavors. Your palate isn't ready. And you can tell that because you'll go to like the Netherlands or something like that, and they'll be like, oh no, don't eat what we make. Go to like a Turkish restaurant or something. If you eat what we make, you'll die. Like, don't do it. We make cardboard over here. Your stomach not ready for what we do over here. We just boil the water and eat it. Like, you know, but I was reading, there was one dude from Poland who was like, I don't know what to do with myself. He said, I'm reading it, I don't know what to do with myself. I've had every flavor multiple times. A friend gave me some at a party. They always started like that too. Like a friend gave me some while I was at a party. They started with that peer pressure type stuff. And that's how you can tell it's drugs for them. They're like, my friend introduced me to Doritos. I was young and innocent. Now I've been running up and down town trying different flavors and stuff. And this dude from Poland was basically, this is like on a Reddit post, and this dude was pretty much admitting that he was extending his stay in the States to spend more time with Doritos. He's like admitting to the open internet that he is overstaying his visa to eat as many Doritos as possible. He is risking ever being able to return to the country. I live in New York, and sometimes I'm walking down the street. Sometimes I walk from show to show instead of taking the train and stuff. And I was walking from one show to the other, and I was passing this bodega. And outside the bodega was a dude that was over here like, you know, just standing there, doing one of these and everything. And I don't know, I've lived in some bad neighborhoods, all right? And when you see this, you know their day isn't going well, right? This right here, if you walk up on somebody and they're doing this, you about to be asked for a favor, right? Like, these are not the movements of someone that's just gonna wish you a good day, right? Like, you're about to hear a story when you see this. And so I'm walking by, and as I walk by, he's like, excuse me, sir. I was like, oh, that's different. What's up? How you doing? He's like, I was just wondering if you could spare $1 or $2 so I could get something to eat in there. And then I had a $5 bill in my pocket, so I handed it to him. He's like, oh, thank you so much. And to get some Doritos. It's like, I'm an enabler. Like, I've been very excited to come to Dallas and spend time with you, make you laugh and everything. I love coming here because I grew up in Louisiana, and so we would come to Dallas a lot. Yeah. Didn't tell you which part. And I would visit, Dallas sometimes growing up and stuff. And, the thing that we're known for in Louisiana and in Texas is just amazing food, right? Things that will change your life, things that you won't forget, amazing meals of every type, Like we're known in Louisiana for a lot of the Creole stuff, jambalaya and gumbo, everything like that. And then in Texas is a lot of the barbecue, a lot of good meats and everything. And then you see people in other parts of the country that will start a whole restaurant pretending to do what y'all do here, right? Like pretending to be the same, and then you'll go there. You might even walk into a, real Texas barbecue restaurant in Pennsylvania. And you're nice, you're cordial, because you're good people. And you sit down and you have a couple bites, and then you're like, no. No. That was good. You tricked me. You got me to come in. That's good. I like what you did there. It's because you got the font right. You got the font on the... That's what got me. You got the print right on the awning. And, ooh, okay. Because this isn't Texas toast. This is fat bread. You did fat bread. You didn't do any... Oh, you won't get me again, but that's nice. That's nice. Gotta give it to you. Wow. And that's the thing, is that sometimes, you have food that people really believe in, but it is bad. It's just not good. Belief doesn't make a meal, right? And especially when I look online, it feels sometimes like we're lost, And I can tell that we're lost just because of what I see happening nonstop. Also online, because you have a forum, because people can comment, I see people say some of the most beautiful things and some of the most hateful things to each other that we know people wouldn't have the courage to say in person, right? Sometimes you're in person and maybe you want to tell someone how great you think they are, but you're worried about being embarrassed, so you keep it in or you just give them a thumbs up, whatever the thing is, right? But online, if you're never going to meet this person, you can really let them have it, one way or the other, good or bad, right? And so I've seen some really hateful comments that I know people wouldn't say if they were in person with the person, right? And when it comes to cooking TikToks, I think some of this hate doesn't go far enough. I think it's important to really let the people know. You know what I mean? Because you watching whole nasty recipes be made and then people just commenting the vomit emoji. It's like, no. We need to get into their personality. We need to get into their upbringing. We need to get into why they thought this was a good idea. Because they love to do it. They love to make nasty food and then film themselves, no shame, film themselves making the nasty food that should be illegal. The police should be kicking the door open as we speak. And not only did you not keep this a secret, you filmed it. You did an edit, and then you put it out for the world to see. You self-incriminated for no reason. And all this nasty food is somehow world famous, or it's Nana's. Stop putting bad food on your Nana. Don't do that. You know she didn't bring you up like that to be making this slop. You know that grandma is turning her grave right now, knowing that you're putting stuff like that on her name. Because then the recipes don't make sense. They're like, you could use half a cup of sugar or salt, whichever. And it's like, that's a lunatic. That's an actual terrorist right there. That's wild that you're just telling people that. Why do you believe that? It's upsetting because then... Back in the day, this is what I'm told by my mom. This is what I was told by my grandma. Back in the day, if you had a recipe that was nasty, you couldn't just broadcast it to the world like that, the way the open internet has allowed us to. You had to poison people one at a time. You had to invite them over to your home. You had to say, come on, no, let me cook for you. And then you had to sit them down. And then they had to smell what was happening and decide to stay. It was a lot that went into feeding bad food to people back in the day. And then maybe if you got famous enough, you could have a cookbook. And then one of the cookbooks, maybe you falling off and nobody knows yet because they didn't make it themselves. But now, You see people, and the videos look good. Ingredients popping up on the screen, and then they pop off, and then they're chopped. And it's like, it's a beautiful thing to watch. But then you see them take a bite of it, and you can tell it's nasty because they only take one bite, and then the video ends. They don't serve it to anybody. Because you've been invited to someone's house that thought they could cook but couldn't. And then you took a bite. You're a good person. So you go ahead and you take a bite, and when you take that first bite, okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of this. I'm gonna have to figure out a way. If there's a dog nearby, but I'm not gonna swallow. No, you're not gonna get me. You take that first bite, and they're like, how you like it? Oh, you can tell you made something nasty if somebody take a bite and then can I be excused real quick? Where's your bathroom at? They just in that bathroom sweating, just like, what am I gonna do? It's a full plate. Oh, it's really horrible what people have done to each other. You know what I mean? It's just with a straight face too. And now you got people broadcasting. Come with me while I make my Nana's world famous mayonnaise grapes or whatever. Like, and they don't even know there's anything wrong with it because once again, they weren't brought up with sense. You know, the amount of times I've been brought over to someone's house, and look, if anyone goes to the trouble of cooking for me, I appreciate it. You took your money, you bought the ingredients, and maybe you messed it up, all right? Maybe that's what happened, but I still appreciate the effort, right? As long as I don't have to finish it, you know? Because the amount of times I've been invited to someone's house and been fed shepherd's pie. You can tell from your groans. Like, shepherd's pie is already on the line. Shepherd's pie is crip walking a tightrope of nasty, right? One false step and shepherd's pie has fallen into slop, all right? You can't just do whatever you want with shepherd's pie and make it delicious. That's not how the world works. And I have been fed shepherd's pies that make you go, maybe I don't know how to eat. Maybe I'm the one. You know what I mean? Because I'll bite into a shepherd's pie and then be like, what just cut my mouth? Because that's what I hate. If you invite me over, at least know you cook what you cooked. Know you can do the thing that you said you... Don't invite me over and then be like, you know, I just went ahead and threw out the cookbook on this one and just went with the flow. Not with my mouth. The amount of shepherd's pies I've had where I've been like, all right, how good of a friend are they? One time I got invited to a friend's house and he made shepherd's pie and he put he plated us, right? Gave us the bowls of shepherd's pie or whatever and then fed the dog at the same time. And the bowls looked the same, right? And so I was like, what did you do for this to look like this? There's shepherd's pie and then look, I'm gonna lose some of you, but we have to talk about it, all right? I have been invited to friends' houses before where they have served, I won't even say served, they subjected me to their version of pot pie. Pot pie is unacceptable, all right? Pot pie is absolutely insane. First of all, I knew I didn't have money growing up when my mom would take us to Walmart and we would go to the frozen section and she would grab that banquet pot pie, right? That red box of pot pie. In the only condition where a pot pie looks good is that picture. When they pull it out the oven and they do the slit and the steam coming up. And you don't even see, you see the steam and you see the crust of the pie. You don't see the slop that's happening below. You don't see the insanity that's having that hot sludge with peas and carrots and supposedly chicken. You're not seeing any of that. That's not chicken. I know chicken. Me and chickens are tight, right? I know chickens back and forth, left and right, and that is not chicken, okay? That's not chicken at all. I don't know what it is exactly, but it doesn't have the consistency. That's not chicken at all. sitting there with a pot pie. Pot pie is disgusting, okay? I remember the first time my mama fed me a pot pie. Went, got it, put it in the oven, was telling me about it. Oh, I think you'll like it, everything. And then, she pulls it out of the oven. I remember my first bite of pot pie. I looked at my mama and said, Mama, I'm going to work so we don't have to live like this. Like this, Mama, I'm going to change our lives, okay? It won't be like this forever, all right? Because I know you doing your best. Pot pie, the hot sludge that is under the crust of pot pie. And then I had a friend try to argue with me about pot pie. He was like, no, the crust is the best part. Ooh, okay. Wait, if you think crust is the best part of the pot pie, I got good news for you. If you love the crust of a pot pie, I got a good word for you today. There's something called bread, all right? Oh, if you love the crust of a pot pie, wait until you meet bread. Bread, when bread comes into your life, it's gonna change. If you love the crust of a pot pie so much you're willing to endure a pot pie, then get ready to meet toast. You can have dry, crusty, delicious bread that has nothing to do with purple Greek sludge, whatever. Because that's the other thing. It's people's version of pot pie. So I've had pot pies that were just like the standard peas and carrots and chicken or a little bit of beef or whatever. But I've also had ones where they were like, I threw a little goat's cheese in there. I did. This is not up to interpretation. This thing is nasty through and through. Pot pie. Pot pie. Pot pie is white slave food, all right? This is the food of subjugation. This is the food of fiefdom, all right? Pot pie makes sense if this is the 1600s. We don't have to do this. We are Americans. People fly from around the world and overstay their visas to eat our cracked Doritos. I've been watching so much news, which is depressing. I mean, it's like they don't tell you about the good stuff. You gotta go find the good stuff on your own. It does feel like, I'm not gonna speak for anybody here, but it feels like, for the most part, I think I feel the way a lot of people feel, which is a sort of disillusion with some of even the process of politics, because we've become accustomed, because we have more access to information than we've ever had, and because we at least see ourselves as more discerning than we've ever been. We feel like we can tell when someone is lying, right? And we've all known and accept that politicians lie. It's to the point now where we don't even really judge who we vote for off of who lied the most. We judge it off of like how many people accidentally told the truth. You know what I mean? Like you look down the ticket and you're like, he got caught in that hot mic. I like that. That was a good one. And I get it. It sucks not just to be lied to, but when you're lied to, you know, and when you figure it out, you see the manipulation that was at play. And if someone's trying to manipulate you, they don't respect you. They don't care about you. You know what I mean? Even when they say they're doing it for your own good, it's like some of the things, let me decide, right? So we don't like when our politicians lie to us, but I don't know if we really want them to tell the truth either. Imagine a local politician, or maybe your country's representative coming to you and just being like, no, we're It's bad. It's bad. I don't think we can recover. This is beyond repair. Doesn't feel great because that sounds very true. I hope you're lying. Some people, offer up the truth even when they don't need to. And sometimes that's a noble thing, and sometimes it's a very dumb thing. Sometimes it's just an odd thing. Like RFK told the truth this week about... I'll back up. In New York City, in Central Park, in 2014, there was a bear that was found in Central Park. They're not native. There was a bear that was found in Central Park next to a bicycle, right? And no one understood what happened. The police looked into it. The police couldn't figure it out. The internet sleuths couldn't put anything together. It was a genuine mystery, a decades-long mystery up until this week, when RFK Jr., for no reason, told the world, y'all, that was me. That was, I did do that one. So RFK, as he tells the story, apparently him and his friends were going falconing. I don't know what falconing is. All I know is you took the word falcon and you made it a verb, right? I don't know if falconing means you hunt falcons or that you use falcons to hunt or you just talk to falcons. I don't know what y'all doing out there, but you put ing behind it so I know it involves the falcons, right? And RFK Jr. was on his way to go falconing, and he's on his way, and then he stops in the road because the person in front of him stopped because the woman in the car in front of him had hit a bear and killed it, right? And so RFK gets out and sees that she's killed this bear, and he's like, I'll take it. Which is interesting, right? That's probably one of the last things I would have guessed you'd say when you see a dead bear. And so he takes it, he puts it in his car, and then he goes falconing with his friends, and they're having a good time. I know we're talking about RFK, but for a split second, I want to focus on the woman that was driving, right? Because there are a few shocks that she had to get over within her day. One, you're driving. You're just a woman in the world living your life, and you're driving, and then something runs out on the road in front of you, and you hit it, right? And that is a car accident. Like, we can't forget, this person was in a car accident. Like, I hope she didn't have any injuries or anything. And just a near miss alone can be shocking. It can rattle you for like days or a long time. Depends on what happened. And so she hits this thing and has to get over the initial shock of almost being in what could have been a very bad car accident. And then she gets out and she's like, what did I hit? Was it a deer or something? It wasn't a deer. It was a bear, which is specific. I don't know anyone else it's happened to. And so you get out of the car and you're standing over this bear that you've just hit. And you're also, wow, I was almost in an accident, so I'm shocked. My heart is racing. It's sad. I've just killed this animal. And then RFK Jr. walks up to the other side of your car and stands over the bear with you and goes, I'll take it. Like you were selling it at a yard sale. And so RFK Jr. went falconing with his friends, and they were falconing for a while, apparently. According to him, they were having a great time. So I don't know if the birds were extra talkative that day, or I don't know what was happening. But they were like, you a falcon, you a falcon, you a falcon. And then the falcons, I guess, were like, blah, 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 like I don't know what noise they do. I don't know what they do. But he's over here falconing. And then they go to dinner, right? Where I'm sure they ate a different type of meat. And he's talking to his friends because the reason he took the bear was to skin it and eat the meat, which I didn't know was an option. I didn't know that bears were running around just big-ass chickens. I had no idea. And so, he's talking to his friends and he's having a great time at dinner. And then he realizes, I actually have a flight. I can't keep this bear in my car. And apparently throughout the entire meal, when he's talking to his friends about the bear being in his car, no one went, what? That never happened. Didn't occur at all. And maybe that's just how they roll as friends. Maybe RFK had a bear in the back and his friend was like, I got 2 giraffes. Like, hey, you know what it's like when you get 2 giraffes in the back of your car, they get all knotted up and everything. You gotta take them home and then unwrap them like some headphone cords, And so then RFK decides that, he obviously can't keep the bear in his car and he has a flight and everything. And I guess no one else wanted the bear. And so he went to Central Park and as a joke, this was like a prank that he was doing. He left the bear with a bicycle that he also had to get rid of. I don't know how big his vehicle is. How big is your vehicle that you got a bear in there and you have a bicycle at the same time? So then he leaves the bear and the bicycle in Central Park and then goes and has his flight and goes wherever. And the next day, no one really got the joke. Like, no one really... The next day, everyone was mostly confused. They were like, so... did someone hit the bear with a bike? Or was the bear riding a bike and then decided to die? Like, was the bear on a bike and then was like, this ain't for me? You know what I mean? And so no one knew, no one put it together, no one solved the mystery until now because RFK Jr. came clean. Because he was the only one that knew. The other reason that no one solved it until now is that the woman who, let's go back to her for just a quick second. I think the woman that hit the bear and then gave it to RFK or let him take it and then went about her life, she also didn't come forward because I think the next day when she turned on the news and saw the bear in Central... she had to have been like, nah. There's no way. I like to think that from her perspective, she hits the bear, RFK takes it, she goes about her life, but then the next day, she thinks that RFK thought that he needed to make it look like an accident. Like,
I hit up a couple people. This is a thing that I feel very strongly about that I think is really important and it enriches.
We're digging right in. Let's do it.
It enriches your life. I think that if you have people in your life that you have not talked to in a long time, it's very important to just drop them a line out of nowhere. Be like, hey, I was thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. Or I was thinking about you. What are you up to?
Right.
That way, I hope you've been well is not necessarily inviting a conversation. If you just want to put the good vibes out there, but you don't have time to like chat, that's an option. Then also, what have you been up to? It does rekindle a little conversation. I think that then it lets people know, hey, doors open. I'm here right now to listen, chat, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was doing this with a friend, and she told me about a date that she went on. This is years ago, and we just got to talking, and she told me that she went on a date with this guy, and it was one of those things where it was like a date that was set up after a meet at a bar. Okay. So they meet at the bar, and like, it's loud, it's dark, it's like all of the recipes for a person to not come off like a monster unless they're an absolute monster.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like all the work is being done for you right now. It's hard to hear you, it's hard to see you. Like if
You're getting away with a lot right now.
yeah, if your drawing personality flaws still shine through, then you are a true monster.
Yeah. Yeah. Your terrible flaws are brighter than any light.
Yeah, you are dull. And so they get to talking. She's like, oh, okay, he's got like, I don't know, there's a little something about him. And he was looking a little nerdy, but she was like, it was in a cute way, not like a extra dweeby way or anything. And so she was like, okay, let me see what's up. And so he ends up asking her out. And so she's like, yeah, all right, sounds great. Let's meet up, in a couple days. They set the date for a couple days from when they met.
Mm-hmm.
And
his face still looked shadowy.
Yeah.
Like he still looks like he's in the dark.
My man just walks around with shadow constantly on his face. He got extra shadow. He's out here trying to be suave, really just being a demogorgon, It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Yeah, just awful. Otherworldly, one could say.
Yeah. I rebuke you is what I would say if I saw him in person.
I rebuke you.
If
next date, I'm bringing an old priest and a young priest.
If I saw a man with mostly shadow on his well-lit face, I would slap him with an open Bible. And so basically what ends up happening is they meet up, and it's at this like Chinese restaurant, and he's like still a little nerdy, still a little like quiet and everything. And now she's like, oh, okay, maybe I was a little tipsy and he's more awkward than I remember. Like maybe I was giving him the benefit of the doubt because I was a little drunk, which
right, yeah.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
Of like, I feel like that's a
happens
given
to all of us, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically he's like looking down a lot, and then he'll look up at her really quick, but then lose the courage to keep eye contact. And she was like, it was almost adorable. It was happening a lot to the point where it was like, I can see how some people wouldn't find it cute.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're at the table with me. You're not looking across a room now. Like,
yeah.
Now you're looking at me and then looking at the tablecloth. It's like, oof.
Or then you look down, you're like, damn, he has really cool shoes on. He just keeps looking at him. He's like, these are great.
Yeah. And so he starts asking her, questions about herself, her life and everything. Mm-hmm. She tells him where she works and what she does for a living. And then she starts to reciprocate asking those questions to him. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm really focusing on my art right now and everything. So I'm in between jobs and stuff. And she wishes. And and I'm living with some friends at the moment. Just getting back on my feet and everything. Like I make a little money doing odd jobs and with my art, and so I'm good. I'm like living. And she was actually taken aback and impressed by how content he seemed. Like, these are things that when someone answers, sometimes there's a little bit of shame involved. There's a little bit of like, oh yeah, I'm doing my thing. I'm like, it's like, it was none of that. He was just like, yeah, I do my art. And it was actually the most confident the entire dinner that she had seen him was like, I do my art, and I'm putting things together and everything until I can have a come up and stuff. And she was like, oh, okay, wow, all right, that's really cool. And she finally asked him what his art was. This is like appetizers have come now, so they're like starting to kind of eat. But then she realizes she never actually asked him, and she was like, "What's your art, by the way?" And he smiles. And at first, it's like she said at first it was like a little smile. and then he couldn't help it. You could just see this like beaming smile burst through, which he also said was like very adorable when someone's just uncontrollably happy, you know?
Right, yeah.
And he was like, well, I'd love to show you. And she was like,
immediate alarm bells. Even if it's like, I made this movie and it's a big, beautiful movie, it's still just like, when the response is, I could show you, is troubling.
Yeah. He's
troubling
like,
to say the least.
I'd love to show you. And she was like, oh, okay. Like, is it? And she's still thinking he's a painter, right? And she just assumed painter, because a lot of people, when you say you're art, they assume
artist.
Paint.
Yeah. They just assume, because that's what artist meant for a long time.
For a very long time.
But a bunch of other shit hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah. And so then she's like, oh wow, did you bring it here? He's like, I bring it everywhere with me. And she's like, okay, what is it? And he's like, I have to show you. And he gets up, he walks, he leaves, right? And she's like a little bit taken aback, because now she's like, oh, okay. Like, I thought she was even saying she thought he meant, I have to show you like later at my place or something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so she's sitting there. Like,
so he left the table.
Left the table.
Okay.
My man's gone.
I got my guesses, but
and she's like munching on a crab rangoon when this dude sits back down,
okay,
with a dummy in his lap.
Oh, it's better than I would have guessed. Yes. Fuck yes. Oh, what'd that dummy say? With
a dummy in his lap going. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can. Go ahead. Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's like not good ventriloquism.
And not only is it not good, but this man's mouth can't stop moving.
Oh.
So instead of it being bad mumbled like ventriloquism, it's just him talking in a different voice while he doesn't make eye contact.
That's his art.
So he just looking down. He's just looking down the way he was when he was trying to be coy. And so he's looking down.
So you don't see his mouth.
So you don't see his mouth. Because if he tilts his head all the way down, it's like, where'd his mouth go?
Oh, I was not thinking ventriloquist. I'm so fucking happy. I was not thinking ventriloquist. Oh boy.
It's so bad.
Would you like to join our thruple?
He's so bad at it. And it's fully, his mouth could not be more open. It's actually like someone taught him the opposite of what ventriloquism is. His mouth is so open.
Or they just explained it to him conceptually, but no one showed him how to do it. They're like, yeah, but you make like the doll talk too. Got it. See you later. No, there's more.
When I tell you that she told me that his mouth went, nice to meet you.
For the listener, Josh moved his whole mouth.
You could see all my teeth the way I moved my mouth just now.
You stuck your tongue out. That's how.
This dude is licking his lips bad at ventriloquism. He will never have a chapped lip while doing ventriloquism.
He's lip licking bad at ventriloquism.
This man will never need chapstick. He is so bad at ventriloquism. And so then she,
You keep going.
so then she's sitting there and she's like, oh, and she just says, oh, like, oh, okay. Still try to be polite, right? And then he is steadily, just like, so Mark told me a lot about you. And she's like,
He let the fucking doll take over the day.
hard.
Hard.
So Mark told
the title of this episode is going to be Logan's favorite thing ever. Oh man.
So Mark told me a lot about you. And this is just prepare yourself because it gets worse.
I'm so excited.
So then she's like, so Mark told me a lot about you.
The fucking voice changed.
He said that you were a beautiful woman. And he lied.
He's roasting her.
You are an incredibly beautiful woman.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it was going to turn to like the roast act with the ventriloquist dummy.
So then he's like, what do you do for a living? And just starts asking her all the questions that she just answered to him through the dummy.
Oh, he's like making her redo the date, but with the dummy.
She's just redoing the date to the dummy.
Oh,
now.
no, don't do that.
And so now she's like, I grew up at like, he just like slowly giving him details like, oh, that's interesting. How are you liking your appetizer?
That's when you have to look at the guy and be like, I know he's not real. Like you can.
and then he goes,
God.
He goes, yeah, Mark's kind of quiet around beautiful women.
Oh.
Say something. He goes, wait, don't make me laugh. Wait, shut up. Wait. Okay, Mark's kind of Mark gets nervous around beautiful women. Say something, dummy. And then he's like, sometimes I don't know what to say.
Yes. Yes.
And then as he gets the doll to talk, this is how bad, just so we can also for the listener once again illustrate how bad this person is at ventriloquism.
Right. Yeah.
When the dummy goes to speak again, the dude controlling him, Mark's gum falls out of his mouth.
I feel like that should be a pretty common, like don't chew something while you're doing ventriloquism.
I mean, when you're not doing it well, you can do whatever you want. And so then
Oh my God.
And so then one of the servers walks up to check on them, like, how they're liking their appetizer and everything, sees the dummy and goes, what is this? And so he turns to the server and it's like,
get the fuck out of here. I'm on a date.
Goes, just two lovely people and a bonehead on a date. Guess who's the bonehead?
Oh yeah, it's so old timey. I love it.
And then the server's like, oh, wow. he just says, "Wow," and walks away. And she said that for so then their food comes, right? So appetizers, but then the actual entree comes, and he doesn't put the dummy away. So he starts talking to her again.
We also brushed past the fact that he stashed this in the restaurant somewhere. We are totally blowing past the fact that he said, "I'll show you." What just went somewhere, assuming his car wasn't outside. I guess I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was at coat check. Maybe.
But like, if he brought the dummy prepared for that reveal already, way too much.
Yeah. Already a killer.
Wow.
So then they're eating, and he straight up is eating and has sat the dummy because it was one of those 4-seat tables. And so he just sat the dummy in one of the chairs. So the dummy just sitting up while they eat.
Just staring at her chew with its lifeless eyes.
Just staring at her chest. Of no fault of his own. That's just where he was positioned.
I'm only comfortable ogling women with my dummy.
And then she said she can tell that the staff is like straight up watching them now. Like coming out of the kitchen to peek and walk back in.
Your friend is a fucking trooper, by the way.
And
The fact that he didn't sit down with the dummy and she didn't go nope and just walk out. It shows a lot of her character.
And so then when they start to like get close to finishing the entree, the server walks back up and is like, "Hey, we were wondering, like, do you do like shows everywhere? Like just like starts like actually just engaging, like, do you do shows everywhere? And like what do you know?" And he excitedly grabs the dummy. And just starts talking to the server like all over again. And so then the server's like, "Can you show the guys in the kitchen?"
And he doesn't realize that they're making fun of him.
He doesn't at all.
Does not at all. Because 100% they're like, "Hey, you got to get him to come back here. I got to see this."
Come back here. And so then he was like, "Yeah, I'll do my thing and everything." And and the dummy is like, "We'd love to." And she said what had to be most of the staff walked out of the kitchen and just stood at the table.
Oh no!
Just watching this man do the worst act. And they're dying laughing. So it's like he thinks he's killing. And maybe he is. Who knows? Because some of them, like, to be fair, some of them did not speak English. So I think some of them were just fully into the fact that a person was doing ventriloquism while only moving their mouth. I think no matter what language you speak, that is going to be universally funny.
Yeah. Being bad at ventriloquism transcends language. You can tell when it's going wrong.
Because I don't even know what jokes, I mean? Like, obviously, I don't even know what jokes he was doing or anything. It's just straight up the fact that he's this bad. It's like remarkable. And she was like, I was just like, like she said she was just like melting in her seat. And it's not like no one was like looking at her or anything. Everyone was focused on him, but she was like,
well, listen, earlier they were all looking at her.
Yeah, that's fair.
When the dummy first came out, everyone was looking at her just being like, "Oh, does she know about this? Does she like this?" She does not. She does not know or like about this.
I mean, she probably looked like she was down with it when they started eating, because then
Yeah, no, they're like, oh, they must be together then.
Yeah.
Because she's
yeah.
fine. She's fine with the dummy. Just sitting there eating with that.
Man.
You've made me so happy today, Josh. I was already having a pretty good day, and it got real good.
And then basically so she's like melting in her seat because she said that there's no way that they're like shoot. I remember her saying this of like how there was no way eventually that food was being cooked. Like too many of them were watching them. Because it's like a small restaurant, you know?
Right.
And
they hadn't gotten their food yet? Or no, they did. They did what they were eating.
They ate.
But other people in the restaurant now.
Other people are just waiting. They're like, hey, yo, is
are now sitting there pissed at this shitty ventriloquist.
That's just like, I would have loved to try the food. Unfortunately, I have a sensitive stomach.
Just imagine that Yelp review. Like, I went there on a date to have a meal, and we could not get served because some ventriloquist, the whole staff was gawking at a dummy who could not enunciate. 1 star, will not go back.
The food was great, but the show was terrible.
The ventriloquist act was all vowels. 1 star.
All vowels and spit.
That must violate some sort of code. I don't know. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I keep going back to like the moment before. Like, did he show up with like a big fucking suitcase? Like before the date was like, hey, can I stash this back here?
Can I put my roller bag here real quick?
Oh, did he ever try to like drink water while doing the ventriloquism? But like he's not good at it, so he just started drinking. It's like, would you? Oh man. Fuck me. That is so goddamn funny.
Man. But yeah, they didn't go on a second date.
Oh, really? Oh, darn it. I was really rooting for them. Because here's the thing. Even if he was really good at ventriloquism, it'd still be shaky whether he was getting that second date.
I don't care if your art is music and if you're at a restaurant, you don't just pull out a guitar
this is a great point.
and start playing songs, like start serenading.
Well, yeah, because I was already thinking about like, okay, even just thinking of it in terms of comedians I've known who just like will start like making people listen to their, comedy, especially when they're like new at it, or whatever. On a date, they'll be like, well, here's, and then they just start laying out material. Already that is like weird. It's at least a conversation, so you can do it. But like, when you got to go get a thing. Because even if he was a painter, if he just started painting there, you'd be like, okay, you brought all that?
Imagine if you just started painting on the wall with like watercolors you brought.
I think this is technically vandalism. I don't.
In case someone asked you, what's your art? I have to show you. And then you just start painting lilies on a restaurant wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you don't have an unsettling art, if you just start doing it, it still throws you off.
Yeah. Yeah,
God, but now I'm now imagining if he brought a guitar out and then he was a really bad guitarist.
It was just
let me show you.
Like, let me show you the ways that I love. It was just like a guttural, like she was like,
look at this photograph.
You know what it was too? that I think really messed him up is that his mouth was open, but he was trying to not move it. That actually makes sense now that that would be the voice you'd make if you didn't close your mouth to do real ventriloquism, but you opened it, but you're like,
Yeah.
like
Having it wide open. Yeah, that's not the move. That's why a lot
if,
of them smile so they can like just do it through their teeth.
if you've
Is
ever
part of it.
been to the dentist, you've just done an impression of this dummy. That's essentially what it sounded like. Your dentist asks you a question and you're like, that is what the dummy. She said it was like she said that she said some of the words were so garbled she wasn't sure what the joke was. Like,
I also love that it sounds like he was doing the oldest of ventriloquist shtick too.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is fucking vaudeville. Like that is old shtick.
Let's just say that blackface was normal when that type of act was popular. That's how old your thing is. You're not even hitting the roaring 20s. We're talking 1919.
Yeah. There weren't even separate water fountains yet because they hadn't been invented.
Yeah. Dude, this was the oldest just and the fact that it was like the fact that for whatever reason, look, killing is killing. The fact that he was killing with the staff is also somehow both impressive and more embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because now she is not just his hostage, but everyone's.
Imagine you're in a hostage situation and some of the people you're talking to the negotiator, and then some of the people are like, we like it in here.
Give us a gun. I'm joining. Like, yeah. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. And I mean, I guess good for him because you said he was really content. Seemed really.
I mean, this is what I think is actually happening. I feel like one, this dude lives within his means, which is why he's not really pressed for money. And then two, I think that he's so bad that it's entertaining that he gets work. I can see that happening. Because here's the thing. If this dude went on America's Got Talent, I think he'd take it all the way. I think it would be so funny that they would actually give him the golden star. They hit that golden button. They put him through the next round. He shows up and you're like, man, this guy's like a really funny comedy act who did like a fake ventriloquism for his first thing. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Then he starts again and it's worse. It's worse the first time. But you're laughing so hard now because you're like, I can't believe anybody would do this act again. That's hilarious.
How he wasted his golden star on this.
And then, but then even that's funny. And so then it's so funny that he just keeps getting promoted to the next round. And by then he's an American sweetheart. Like by then he's just like, it's like people love how bad he is at this thing. And then there's just a Vegas show at the end of it where you go to watch this dude talk for an hour and be like, what river is completely full of what river?
Oh, I can't wait to see where this joke ends.
What river is completely full of what river is completely full of direct intention? The Pacific Ocean. And then you just sit there.
Jesus Christ.
And then you just sit there and you're like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
First off, not a river. You said ocean. And next season, suddenly he's a judge on America's Got Talent. You're like, how did he?
How did he get to be a judge? And then you sing your heart out, and he's like, I wasn't really feeling it.
We can't really understand the notes he's given. Everyone just kind of looks at him. I think that's a vote for yes.
Imagine how demoralizing it would be to be a comic going on America's Got Talent, and then a dummy's hand gives you the thumbs down. I don't think you just quit comedy. I think you actively go on a killing spree. Like, I think that's enough to break a human's mind.
Yeah.
So much so that they're like, I want nothing to do with society. I want nothing to do with anyone here.
A dummy told me I failed. I couldn't understand what he said. Terry Crews was there. I don't know. Reality exploded on me.
Terry Crews had to sit me down and tell me that even though I should have been able to understand it off the rip, the dummy said that I'm talentless and I have no future.
Holy shit. Oh. That's just beautiful. I don't know. It's chaos. What happened to your friend is horrible.
Yeah. I
but just
great person, but yeah, terrible luck.
In a weird way, in an indirect way, he did make art. Because that moment, that moment is beautiful.
Sure enough, absolutely.
Holy shit.